Hey, good Sunday morning, everyone. We're really glad you're here today. During my sabbatical, I was able to go through some of our old services, and I found some of my favorite soloists that I wanted to bring back, that their message matches what my message will be this week. So I'm proud to present to you once again Melissa Suzanne.
It's fun today. I get to do all original songs. It's the first time I've done that here, so this is pretty exciting. And this first one's called Live Big. Yeah, yeah. Why you wanna live life just to get by? Nothing new or different for you. You don't even try. You got big, big dreams, but you think they're not for you. So you just play it down on the low. You try to keep your cool, but there's no power. No power. Living small. It's time to love everybody. We got to give it all, 'cause there's no power. No power. No in living small. Shine on so we can see it all. Now listen, living big ain't all about money that you make. It's not about the things you have or the things that you can take. It's about being the you that you're designed to be. So let's be the change that heals the world. Let's make history, 'cause there's no power. It's time to love everybody. We got to give it all, 'cause there's no power. No in living small. So let your light shine on so we can see it all. Yeah, yeah. How lucky are you guys to have this band at this center? Let's give them some love. Now listen, are you gonna let your light shine? You sing, I'm gonna let my light shine. Are you gonna let your light shine? You sing, I'm gonna let my light shine. Are you gonna let your light shine? Let me hear you sing, I'm gonna let my light shine. Are you gonna let your light shine? You sing, I'm gonna let my light shine. There's no power. Come on. Living small. It's time to love everybody. We got to give it all, 'cause there's no power. No in living small. So let your light shine on so we can see it all. Yeah, yeah. Let your light shine on so we can see it all. All right, now. Thank you.
Here we go. Announcements for the week. Monday, Dr. Joe, back to the basics. My understanding is that's what he wants to talk about. Let's get back to the basics. Just talk about principle, how we can bring it into our lives, make our lives better. Tuesday, I'm still with Jafon. We're doing it. We're on chapter 16 out of 18 of the book. We're going to make it so wonderful on the ride home. We're on the home stretch. How to be an anti-racist. Stick with us for the conversation. It's important. Wednesday, Sensational 6. They've got their own brand. Need I say more? Sensational 6. Thursday, Dr. Laura is with our very own Linda Dirks. She is a powerhouse, the busiest woman in spiritual business. Linda Dirks with Dr. Laura on Thursday. Friday, Life on Love with yours truly. We're going to have another wonderful ride. We're going to just talk about life. What are we going to do, Jeff? We're going to dive in. That's what we're going to do. We dive in to the good stuff. Saturday, another tailored meditation just for you. What's better on a Saturday morning than just to have a moment of a breath and quietness? Set up the weekend. And then, of course, on Sunday, Dr. Joe will be right back with you for another wonderful Sunday service. We've also got, there's so much happening. Wednesday morning, Power of 8. Thursday evening, Social 8. Where can you find all of this? CSLPalmDesert.org. What else is going on? Virtual prayer room at 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings. We've got it all going on. Hang out with us. There's so many things to do. I know sometimes it gets a little old looking at a screen, but if you're watching your Netflix show or your favorite show on Hulu or Prime, this is better than that. You know why? Real life. Make it the best day ever. Peace and love.
So before we go into our mission statement and our quiet time today, I want to talk a little bit about Reverend Brad, who's going to be doing our service at this point. Reverend Brad has started a support group for caregivers. This group is very dear to me because my dad, who had Alzheimer's for 12 years, my mother was his caretaker. And I saw the stress that it took out on her body and her emotions and just every part of her. And it's a very difficult time to be a caregiver. It always has been a difficult time to be a caregiver. And sometimes you just need some emotional support. Reverend Brad has stepped into this role of leading people who are caregivers and help facilitate that type of support. So in the near future, you're going to hear more about that program. And I encourage you, if you are a caregiver, to attend, to be part of it. In fact, I would even go as far as saying this, and Brad, I hope you're okay with this. If you've been a caregiver before and you've experienced it, maybe your knowledge and wisdom can help other people who are walking through caregiving situations. So I would encourage people who are caregivers and who have been caregivers to help participate with Reverend Brad as he continues to move this group of support into our community. Just wanted to let you know. So now I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Brad.
Please join me in our mission statement, our statement that creates this space and place for us to come together to realize that we are one with God, one as God, and one in God. Our mission statement. We are a dynamic, open, and positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our mission is to awaken you to your divine nature, empowering you to create the life of your dreams. We are changing lives one heart at a time. Please join me now in our time of spiritual practice as we go into a meditation, just to relax and be in that space. I invite you to either have your eyes open and see the beautiful scenery on the screen, or just close your eyes and reflect and go within with me.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done and everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this present moment here, to this new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
As we continue this time of being the space and place of the infinite presence that we are, that is this service, I invite you to join me in our affirmative prayer. As we go within and realize and recognize that infinite, amazing, divine presence that is God, that is right where we are, right in the space and place of every individual participating and listening to this service. That allness of God that is right there shines forth greatly, powerfully in every aspect of our lives. And through this service and through this message, we are re-inspired and re-informed of the divinity that we are and the power and presence of Spirit that is right inside us always. As I direct the law of life to make this word so, I give grateful thanks that it's in this life, that it's in your life, that it's in my life, that it's in our life. And so we let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done and everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this present moment here, to this new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Sometimes I feel like I'm treading water. Sometimes I feel like I'm going nowhere. But deep down I know it's gonna get better. And I'm gonna hold on, 'cause I'm almost there, almost there. I'm gonna hold on, 'cause I'm almost there, almost there. I'm gonna hold on, 'cause I'm almost there. Sometimes I feel like I'm treading water. Sometimes I feel like it's too much to bear. But deep down I know it's gonna get better. And I'm gonna hold on, 'cause I'm almost there, almost there. And I'm gonna hold on, 'cause I'm almost there, almost there. And I'm gonna hold on, I'm almost there. You know, I used to feel like I was treading water, and I used to feel I was going nowhere. But now I can see, yeah, it's getting better. And the truth of it all is that I'm already there, already there. The truth of it all is that I'm already there, already there. The truth of it all is that I'm already there. The truth of it all is that you're already there, already there. The truth of it all is that the truth of it all is that you're already there. The truth within me is that I'm already here.
So I wanted to thank all of you for your continued support of our center. We want it to be what it was before all of this COVID thing happened. So it requires that you continue to sustain and continue to be consistent with your donations to our center. So we're very grateful to have this opportunity to serve you, to do it every day at 10 o'clock in the morning, to continue to have our staff make sure this building continues to be in perfect working order. So again, we're so very grateful for all of the gifts that you've given us so far, and we ask that you continue to do so. So this is your time for our love offering. And there will be something on the screen that directs you to exactly where you need to go to do that. So we're very grateful. Thank you so much for attending our services today. Hey, so my talk title today is called Think. Just think. During the week, I did my talk show on Monday, and I talked about going back to basics. And every Monday now, we're going to go back to basics, because when in our lives do we have a chance to reset and look at things from a totally different perspective? Right now is that time. Right now we have a gift of time while we're moving through all of this chaos in the outer world, and we have the gift of time to really think about what we're going to do. So today my talk title is Think. But as we go into this week, which I think is going to be a pretty challenging week, given the dynamics of what are going to happen on November 3rd. And incidentally, you'll see that I'm wearing my I voted little sticker here. In Science of Mind, we have the right of free choice and free will. And if you don't exercise your choice, then you cannot exercise your mouth in complaining. Just remember that. So get to the ballot box. However you choose to vote, just vote. Get that done. But think about it first. Now, think this week as an acronym for this. Before you speak, think. T, is it true? What I'm about to talk about, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? I want us to think about those things, because we enter into this week, those people who are on social media, those people who are talking to other people about the process that we're moving through in this election, it's an opportunity for us to think about what we want to say. And is it necessary? So I'm going to come back to that at the very end, but I want that to be the backdrop of my talk today. So the first thing is this. Let's start treating people with respect, a newfound respect that we thought we were exercising, but this week I want us to really emphasize this, okay? Number one, listen without interrupting. It's so easy in this time to interrupt someone whose opinion may differ from yours, especially over the next couple weeks as things begin to escalate. It's time for us to listen without interrupting, respecting what other people have to say, even though we may not agree with them whatsoever. It's giving them the opportunity to articulate what they want to articulate without you jumping in and sometimes jumping down their throat. Does anybody know someone like that? Maybe? I don't know. Anybody? No? Okay. So I know people that are constantly interrupting one another, especially when it comes to differences that they have regarding how this COVID thing is being treated and how the politics is going on and the different civil unrest that's happening around the communities and country. So I would ask that, first of all, we listen without interrupting. All right? Number one. Number two, speak without accusing. This is so hard because I love accusing people of things. It just makes life easier. That way I can justify whatever I'm doing by just accusing. No, speak without accusing people of anything, right? Without accusing people. Just speak with kindness. Speak from love and speak when it's necessary. I'm going to say that too. Speak when it's necessary. I have found myself holding back conversations. In fact, Reverend Charles and I had lunch the other day, and we were talking about how lately I've been holding back on conversations that I would normally engage in, but I would sacrifice my peace of mind to do it. So if I'm going to be speaking with an accusatory tone, I can expect a fight in return. Is that really what I'm looking for? Am I really looking to have a confrontation? So speak without accusing. Next thing, Give without sparing. Now, this is another issue that we kind of touch on every now and then, but I want to talk about how are you giving back to the community right now. There are ways to effectively give back even in this closed-in situation. There are ways to give back, and we can do so without sparing. We can give of ourselves to other people. We can be calling people, reaching out via email, actually allowing ourselves to engage in other types of conversations that are emotionally supportive of other people. Also, giving without sparing to our own center to allow ourselves to continue doing what we're doing. But I think the principle of giving without sparing is essential in this moment. Give of yourself. Find out how you can be of service to other people. There are a lot of people that are lonely and that are hurting right now and that are very afraid and they're locked in. There's a lot of people still totally locked down and locked in. Reach out to those people and make a concentrated effort to not give of your energy sparingly, but to give of it generously. To be of generous spirit in contacting them and connecting with them and just talking about whatever you want to talk about. I would say this, stay away from those topics that somewhat can be heated, but talk about things like, logging in and listening to what's happening on Monday or the latest lesson or something else other than the chaos that seems to be appearing in the country. Okay? Next thing, pray without ceasing. In Paul, it says we're always praying without ceasing because our thoughts are always prayers going into the universe. Are you praying without ceasing right now? And let's talk about how we can do that effectively for the greater good of what's going to happen around our country in the next few weeks. Everyone, if you have said to yourself, I have no concerns whatsoever about what's going to happen over the next few weeks, I don't think you're living in what is the current reality. Everyone has concerns about what may happen one way or another. No one's right, no one's wrong. Let's just say we have concerns. But is our concentrated effort on the chaos or the potential chaos or fallout, or is it actually on the end result, which could be a bridge, even though there's some tumultuous activity, it could be a bridge to something even greater? Is our prayer seeing rightly how we want things to be whenever this process begins to, dovetail into some sort of a new story? Are your ideas dovetailing into a future that looks good? Or are you talking and are your prayers, are your words not ceasing about the chaos and the fear and the angst or the uncertainty of whatever's happening in your life? We have to know that when we're praying, when we're thinking, we want to think in terms of how this beautiful life is going to continue to unfold. You see, because everything, and I don't know how to explain this other than to say, it seems to me that every storm that we've ever been in comes to pass. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't going to be a few uprooted trees. That doesn't mean there may not be some, in the wake of that storm, some sort of challenge and difficulty. But things come to pass. The storms stop. And it will stop here too. I've been saying that since, February? March? I don't know. Are you tired of it? I'm tired of it. I can say that. I'm tired of that. And I shouldn't say I'm tired because then I'll get tired. Okay, how can I rephrase that? I'm just done with it. I'm done with it. I want everything to go back to normal and it's going to take some time. But are my thoughts, see, I just did it. I just did the thing you don't want to do. I talked about being tired and that was my prayer. No, I should be excited about what's coming on the other side of all of this. I should be able to generate within myself and my imagination what I see my potential being on the other side of all of this stuff that's happening in our world. And all the stuff that's happening in your own personal world. We want to make sure that we're really keyed into that. So pray without ceasing. Next thing, and this one, answer without arguing. Are you kidding me? Answer without arguing with someone I'm disagreeing with? You want me to answer without arguing? That's almost, in my mind, that is almost, I want to say it, an impossibility. Because I'm so geared up and my paradigm is such that I'm so used to having healthy debate and conversation. But right now, there's this sensitivity that seems to be winding its way through all these different subjects. And there's a great passion, there's sensitivity, and there's great passion on both sides of every subject matter that you bring in. So when I'm able to answer in a calm and rational way and speak my truth and then let it be, I don't have to engage in the battle. And remember, and I've said this 1,000 times, just because someone throws down the gauntlet doesn't mean you have to pick it up. Walk past it. Walk around it. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You have a choice in that matter. Just like you have a choice in what you're doing at the ballot box, you have a choice to engage or not engage. This is your time to answer people's questions without arguing, without debating, but just calmly stating your truth. And you don't have to go after everyone's jugular at every moment. It is so easy. When I'm watching on social media, I see people who will post something and immediately there's this barrage of an attack in response. And I'm like, okay, do you really think that that's going to change anyone's mind about anything? No. How about if you live from a place of peace? How about if you came from a place of, I know what I know, and I'm going to live my life from that place. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be peaceful. I'm going to exercise my right to vote. I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to do whatever I think I need to do for my greater good and the greater good of all people. So as long as I'm coming from that place, I don't need to engage in an argument. Truth is on my side. Truth is on my side. I don't have to bang you over the head with my truth. Have you ever had anyone bang you over the head with their truth? Did it work? Oh, I remember, I remember listening to people about how I needed to become a born-again Christian at some point. And I remember in 7th and 8th grade, these kids that were going to this very evangelical church were telling me I had to become born again. And they were telling me how I would have to memorize scripture and all these things. And they would bang it over my head. Literally, it was nonstop every day. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? And I felt such great pressure. And I remember thinking, why would someone want to bang me over the head with their belief system? I mean, don't you want me to come to it on my own? Shouldn't I be able to walk a path that feels comfortable for me instead of having someone shove me on the path? So allow yourself to just answer questions without arguing. Just allow yourself to do that. Give yourself the gift of a calm voice while other people can be totally freaking out. Give yourself that gift. Your body will thank you. Next one, share without pretending. Do we give everything in our life its proper priority? Or do we sometimes exaggerate things to make it feel like it's more important? Does this make sense? Think about this. I have a system. I have a system with my family and some friends that when I text them, I say to them, please, call me. It's not a 911. It may be a 611, a 411, a 111. So I give them some gauge of the importance of how important it is for you to return my text or my call. Because I don't want to feel someone pressured that every time I reach out, it's like, oh, got to do this. And there's people that do that. They feel this intense energy to constantly be in response to other people. Why don't we do this? When we want to share something, we don't over exaggerate its importance, but we just see it for what it is and just let it be that. Don't have to embellish it. It doesn't have to be hyperbolic. You don't have to have a hyperbolic response. All we need to do is just share without exaggerating the intensity of what we're really looking at. Because I tell you what, what I have learned on sabbatical, when I was gone, one of my greatest gifts, not everything is an emergency. It really isn't. Now, there are things that are an emergency, and I get it, but not everything rises to the level of panic. It doesn't have to be that way. I can engage in sharing what I need to share given the priority or given its priority in my life. And another thing I've come to learn, most of us have champagne problems. Most of us. Now there are some people that right now are struggling to find a place to live, or struggling financially because their job is taken away. Those are real problems. Or struggling because they're sick and they don't have access to health care. Those are real problems. My problems, because, I don't know, something's broken in my house or because something's not working in my car, that's a champagne problem. Let's not prioritize everything to the nth degree of an emergency, because it's just not. Let's keep things in perspective. Now here's another one. Enjoy without complaint. Okay, so I'm going to say it. And I don't want to be Judge Judy here, but it kind of feels like I'm being judgy. You know, I've tried going out to various restaurants, and I've tried getting takeout orders from various restaurants. And it seems like, and I don't want to say this because it's kind of a prayer that's going to be answered, every single time I get home, there's something wrong in the order. I don't care whether it's Arby's or whether it is the top of the line restaurant, every single time. And when I go out, oh my gosh, I had this, okay, I'm going to go to confession. I had a run-in at Outback Steakhouse in Fort Lauderdale. I was just so upset that the service took so long, and gosh, I was hungry. I was hangry. I wasn't hungry. I was angry and hungry, which is 10 times worse. I was hangry, and it took too long, and I embarrassed the people I was sitting with at the table because I lost it. And I'm willing to admit that. But what I forgot was I eventually did eat, and it was good. Yeah, it may not have been absolutely perfect, but when is the last time I was absolutely perfect? It doesn't happen. So I have to give a lot of grace right now. I have to give a lot of leeway and latitude to people. And yeah, people are maybe taking advantage of saying, oh, it's because of this or that I'm upset and that this is happening. I just need to stop complaining about it and just allow myself to just enjoy this moment. I took what could have been a really nice experience with some people and friends, and I ruined it. Instead of engaging in nice conversation, they saw me act out. And when I act out, that changed the whole vibration at the table. And then for the rest of the night, of course, then Trey got really mad at me. There's another whole story that follows that, but it wasn't pretty. But lesson learned. I need to enjoy things without complaining if it's not absolutely positively perfect for me. All right? Now, trust without wavering. One of the last things, trust without wavering. We have to know beyond knowing that absolutely everything is unfolding for some higher and greater good. And while in the wake of things might happen that may not be to our liking and may be extremely uncomfortable and almost unimaginable, in the upward trajectory of the world, and I do say in the upward trajectory of the world, when we look at things, there's ups, there's downs, but at the bottom line is that there's always this slight upward trajectory moving into a greater good. And when I can trust that, when I can trust the universe to be what the universe is and already has been and will continue to be, instead of thinking I have to manipulate it or I have got to somehow move it around in a way that I'm controlling it, I can control what I can control, right? And the rest of the time, I just have to trust that some greater good is going to unfold from all things, which requires me to sit in the question and in the gray area while it's being answered, and to sit there peacefully and mindfully. Not exactly my strong suit, but I'm working on it. We have to go back to the basics on this. It's easy to get caught up in an energy, especially, and I'll say this, especially right now. How many years have I been saying that? Especially right now. It's easy to get caught up because there are so many things that are out of balance that it's hard to imagine that the balance is actually moving in the right direction. But trust the universe. Trust the universe to know what it's doing. Okay? All right, last one. Prove without punishing. Prove without punishing. That's a big one. Because sometimes when people are wrong and we want to prove our point, we're going to go after them. Yeah, you're going to pay for the error that you made, you have to pay. What I have learned is that the universe takes care of that in a much better way, in a much usually bigger way than I could ever imagine. But if I were just to let it go, I don't need to punish anybody. Just let the consequence of their actions unfold for them in their divine right nature. I don't need to accelerate it or exacerbate it or add to it. So I don't need to prove my point by punishing someone. I just need to go, let it go, Joe, because proving by punishing is all about ego. I have to be right and you have to be wrong. You know what? I'm not exactly sure what's right or wrong anymore. I just have to know what my right and my truth is and come from there and not punish people for not believing the way I believe. Just allow people safe passage through this life experience. All right? Now, another one. And this is another one. Promise without forgetting. How can I do that? I forget everything. I shouldn't say that. That's an affirmation, isn't it? But lately, I've been forgetting quite a bit of things. But if you make a commitment to someone, keep your commitments, especially right now. If you make a commitment to someone, people are really counting on other people for some really important things in life. And if you've made a commitment, find a way to make sure you remember to do those things. Because it means a lot to people, because there's a sense of abandonment right now because people can't connect physically the way they have in the past. They can't come into a spiritual center and connect with their community. So there's vulnerability with people in their whole consciousness. So that may be with some people that you're talking to. So make every effort that if you promise to do something for someone, that you don't blow it off. You actually show up, right? So going back to the very beginning of my talk, before you speak this week, take everything I just talked about, take every single thing I just discussed, and think. T, is it true? Is whatever I'm speaking, is it true? Or am I reading it off of some source that may or may not be true? How about if I come from my own truth instead of relying on other people to give me what my truth is? Does that make sense? Rely on my own truth and speak my truth. Don't try to regurgitate someone else's truth. H, is it helpful? This is going to be a big one, especially the next couple of weeks. Is it helpful? I'm trying to think, and I'm going to approach just what's going on November 3rd, because it's very important. I'm a firm believer that we all have the right to free will and free choice to vote. I don't know that many undecided people in my life. I don't know that many undecided people. So if I thought for 1 second there was someone that was truly undecided that we could have an adult conversation with and not go into arguing and all that other accusatory stuff, then I would probably engage. But for the most part, I don't think it's helpful to just kind of gang up on people right now. I don't think that's going to change anything. So is what I'm saying true? Isn't it helpful? Is it going to help someone else? And if it's not really going to help them, is it just going to kind of like my area to vent? Is that worth, attacking other people or making someone feel less than? So first off, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Am I inspiring someone or am I scaring someone? There's a big difference. There are some people that use inspiration to move things and make things happen. There are other people who move things through fear, and because things move through fear, their result is fear-ridden. It's wrapped up in fear, and it continues to manifest more fear. So make sure that what I'm saying, first of all, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Am I inspiring people to do things? Next thing, the N is the hardest one for me. Is it necessary? Well, I think everything I say is necessary, don't you? I mean, everything you say you think is necessary or you wouldn't be saying it. But is it necessary? Am I willing to sacrifice my peace of mind to engage in conversations that are not necessary on topics that people have probably already made up their decision, made up their mind? Do we have to engage on it, or are we just going to see how things happen? Is it necessary? Is it necessary for me to engage and pile on with everyone else's opinions? Probably not. It's not necessary. We may have this need to do it, but that's just to belong to the cool kid group that's doing what it's doing. It's not about necessary. And think about something being karmically necessary. Is it necessary for me to put this out so that something comes back to me in the same form? I have to ask that question. Is it necessary for me to do that? Finally, K, is it kind? Is it kind? Is it attacking? Is it fear-driven? Is it resentful? Is it angry? My response before I speak, what I'm about to say, is it kind? And I'm challenged with that too, because I'm a pretty direct person, and I know that I'm challenged because sometimes I don't say things the way people want them said. I just sort of say them in a direct way, which sometimes can appear to be very kind of harsh and kind of callous. And I get that, and so I'm trying to change that, and I'm looking at that and analyzing that, but the words are, is it kind? Is what I'm about to say, is it kind? Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? Is it kind? Am I holding someone up? Are my words going to be helpful or harmful? So those are the things I want you to think about this week. There's going to be a couple weeks here where there's going to be some, it could be a little choppy water. Maybe not. Maybe that's a prayer that everybody's, I think maybe, oh, wait a minute, that's it. Everyone's praying by thinking that there are going to be challenging, choppy water times. So I think we're about to manifest some choppy water times because that seems to be the consensus. And when that becomes the consensus, just like when the stock market crashed before, we've seen the consensus of people began to panic. And because of that, as a result, they panicked in the stock market and things began to crash. We've seen this consciousness of the communities and of the country change the direction. And maybe our community can be the first ones who are not going to engage in what could potentially be that kind of chaos. So let's just know that the greatest good and the highest good for everything is unfolding and everyone is unfolding. And we need to just ride this wave for a little bit longer as the new wave resets and we move forward into whatever that's going to be, whatever that is. I just know for you, for me, for our spiritual community, that a greater good continues to unfold. So there's one more thing I wanted to add. Every point that I made today, for some people, they like the metaphysical teachings that we do here at the center. For some people, they're still very Bible-based. So I want to share with you something. If you go back and watch this, I'm going to give you the reference in the Bible for each thing that I just spoke about. So first off, listen without interrupting came from Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. Speaking without accusing came from James chapter 1, verse 9. Giving without sparing came from Proverbs 21, chapter 21, verse 26. Pray without ceasing, Colossians 1, verse 9. Answer without arguing, Proverbs 17:1. Share without pretending, Ephesians 4, verse 15. Enjoy without complaint, Philippians 2, verse 14. Trust without wavering, Corinthians 13, verse 7. Prove without punishment, Colossians 3, verse 13. And promise without forgetting, Proverbs 13, verse 17. So just another added element that if you take what we learned in a traditional biblical sense, you can put a metaphysical interpretation to it and apply it today. Back to the basics. And so ends your lesson. Thank you.
It's wonderful to have Dr. Joe back. What a timely talk. What great food for our thoughts to remember. And I have a mask that has a zipper. I should have it looking at me so I know to zip it sometimes. So let's just remember that this week and let's go into prayer. Let's do our closing prayer. So let's just take a deep breath in, recognizing that this power is peace, is love, is oneness. And each and every one of us is an intricate part of that oneness. So we recognize that in our differences is still our oneness. And we allow each of us to be who we are, knowing that it does not infringe on who I am. So I hold my place of peace, of love, of knowing my oneness, of recognizing that my thoughts have power. So my thoughts are focused on that oneness, peace. that I know that there is a divine plan in the universe. I know that I also don't always understand it, but I have faith. I have faith that there is this intelligence that is higher than mine, that is working for my highest and best good, and I relax in that. I relax in that and accept the joy and the excitement to watch how life unfolds in its perfection. And I do my part. Each and every one of us is here to contribute our part to this puzzle that we call oneness, the oneness of life. So I choose joy, love, peace, honoring of my fellow humans in this journey as we go up the mountain together, recognizing that there is this higher view that maybe we don't recognize, but I know it's good. I know it's very good. So this week and this moment, I am at peace. I am in peace. I am authentic. I am myself, and I allow each person to be their authentic self without judgment, without blame, without any reprehensible judgment about them, knowing that they are this divine expression of God. And my job always in gratitude is to recognize that. So I release my word into this divine law in that peace and that ease, knowing all is well, knowing that life is unfolding perfectly for myself, for each person, for the country, for this globe. And I let it go, let it knowing that it is all good because it is all God. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. And so have an amazing, perfect, wonderful week, and don't forget to vote.